Hi everybody. So this is video 13, I believe. So it is March 9th and I had my surgery February 3rd of 2016 and it's March 2016. So right around 5 weeks post-op and I felt fine, normal. Um, I have lost a total of 43 pounds so far, so that's really exciting. Um, I've gone down about 3 pant sizes. So, um, yeah, I'm really excited about that. So, I had to go and buy some. I wear shorts most of the time, and I went from um, like a 2 or 3 XL short to just an extra large. So, good stuff there. Um, Diet, just follow the doctor's directions. That's exactly what I did. The first 2.5 weeks of just drinking broth, it got really, really tiresome. Um, I may have mentioned some ideas in the first couple of videos. Mrs. Dash, the no salt was a lifesaver. And then strained chicken noodle soup. Um, just add water, dilute it so that way it's not too thick, and the taste was really, really good. As far as now, I am, um, I, I think it's all in my head. I don't, well, they said don't eat celery or anything like that because it's really has a lot of fibers in it, and I avoid those things with no problem. Um, and I bought some oranges, and then it's just like it gets really stringy too, so I avoid it. So, as far as the diet goes, um, now that I'm this far out, I have no craving at all for junk food. Um, I have a craving for snacking. So, and to me, there's a difference. When I'm watching TV, my shows at night, especially before bed, I want to reach for the chips and stuff like that. Not that I'm craving it, just that habit, that body memory, just going through the motions. And I have found that my savior in this has been sugar-free popsicles, the same one that they gave to me in the hospital. The doctor said that those are completely fine. Um, and I eat those. And I it that's become my substitute. That's become my vice, and no problems. And it adds to my fluid intake, so that's good because, oh man, that's something I should talk about. I was eating, gosh, all the way through the first, just like up to a week ago, I was eating a third cup of food, and I kept feeling like really, really, really full. And I was scared that I was like going to stretch my stomach back out because they said that that's possible. And I kept having it where I would eat like 4 or 5 after 4 or 5 tablespoons of food. It felt like the food was backing up through my esophagus, and it probably was. I'm sure it was. And it was just kind of like that anxiety that it's like, oh gosh, this is the moment. I've overdone it. I'm stretching out my stomach. I've ruined everything. It's just everything's going to be a failure. I'm going to gain weight. And, it's just like this whole freak out. And so I had to be like, okay, what am I going to do? So I finally had my follow-up appointment, and my follow-up appointment with the doctor and the dietitian. And so the dietitian was explaining to me that, the stomach is still really swollen from surgery. And instead of eating a third cup, I needed to cut it back. And I was just like, oh man, I'm hungry. How am I going to like reduce it even more? You're talking about like, gerbil food. I'm going to just be eating like 1, 2 tablespoons of food. And I was just like, this is so impossible. But what I found was they were right. That's what I needed to do. I needed to dial back the food. But by diluting like liquidy foods, especially like mashed potatoes, adding a little bit more milk to make it a little bit not soupy, but extra mushy, so there's no lumps. That helped, and some country gravy. I did add that, and that was really good. But oh, there's something I was gonna say, and I totally forgot what it was now. Let's see. It's talking about the food. Oh yeah, it was about the food. Refried beans. It's on the list. Big mistake. The first time I ate it, it was like okay, and then it kind of made me really sick. And I did add water to dilute it so it wasn't so thick. But just after eating like 2.5 tablespoons, it just felt really heavy on my stomach. And it was just like I just felt nauseous. It was just gross. So I was just like, that's something I need to avoid. I live in a multi-family household, so and after my mom's surgery, she moved in, and it's been like a year, and that has been the hardest because my mom is obese. She became obese, through the course of her own illnesses, diabetes and emphysema and stuff like that. And she eats horrible. And I keep getting after her about the snacks and, just all this junk that she's eating. And then, what's frustrating is now when I'm around like family members and they're like, oh, I'm so fat, I need to lose weight. And they're sitting there and I look at their plate now from my perspective and I'm like, how are you eating that? And I know me before surgery, I was able to eat like more than that. But now it's like I can't even mentally process how somebody could sit there and have 3 or 4 slices of French bread with, gosh, it just seems like a trough full of like spaghetti with sauce and cheese, and it's just like, oh man, I'm hurting just looking at all this food. But and I feel bad because now that I've had the surgery and now that I am more conscious about what I'm eating and what is in my food and watching the calories and the fat and the sodium and all those things. Now that I'm saying that, I'm realizing how much of the weight loss, the weight gain was just bad habit. And I have a friend whose daughter is morbidly obese. She is huge, and she's only 19, 20 years old, and she's got to be in excess of 300 pounds, and she's only like 5'2" at most, maybe 5'3". And she's like, oh, I have a glandular problem. I have all these health problems that keep me from losing weight. And during this whole process, when I was going through, like the dietitian classes and all that, and with my own doctor, them running tests, nobody ever brought up and said, we need to check to make sure that there isn't something medically wrong with you to keep you from losing weight. Every time I was around a doctor or a physician assistant, everybody was like, you have to change your lifestyle. You have to change your eating habits. So they automatically knew it was just because I didn't know how to stop. I didn't know what I was doing. And so it made me kind of wonder, how much of that is like an excuse for some people to justify what they're doing, with their bad eating. And I just felt bad. But because I know now that the people I'm around, it is a choice. And I can compare it even further when I was smoking. And, it's just like, man, every time I just think about that. It's horrible. And now that I quit smoking, and it was the hardest thing I ever did. It was just, I thought it wouldn't be possible. But I challenged myself. I was like, okay, I got to see which one is more stubborn, me or this addiction? And I won. So that's the most important thing. Well, my health. But so yeah, this is kind of like that next stage in becoming a healthier version of me, and I'm really excited. So yeah, I'm not having issues with food. I have to go to therapy, and I had my second, probably I think it was my final session with the therapist. And my initial therapy session, he was like, "Oh, during this process, you're gonna find out why you were addicted to food, and you're probably gonna have this flood of emotion and memories, and just all this bad stuff." And so I left the appointment with this sense of doom and gloom. I knew this bad stuff was looming, and after the surgery, it's kind of like every day I was like waiting. It's like, oh, is today gonna be the day that all these bad stuff comes up? That is like my revelation for why I was eating so much and why it's bad. Well, there was a revelation, and it was that I like the taste of food. I like to eat. I like to cook. And I like to relax. I like to watch my movies. And when I watch my movies, I like to eat. No bad memories. I just like to eat. I like pumpkin pie. I like cherry pie. I like going to Denny's and having the Nacho Supreme with extra meat. And that was my problem. Not some bad memory. Which I'm grateful for. And I know it's a legitimate thing. And there are some people, probably a lot of people out there, and bless you if that's your case, where you're going through that traumatic event of, realization that, your problems stem from something. And all I can say to you is, because, I mean, everybody's had bad things happen, is stay strong. And just remember all those things are in the past. And it can't hurt you anymore. It's ghosts in your head. And if somebody's done you wrong, if somebody's hurt you, that was a vulnerable version of you. And you are a strong person now who is in control. And just try not to let the negative things in your life guide you. Don't judge others by the crap that other people's done to you. That's not fair to them. Love yourself. That you have to love yourself, because if nobody else will, at least you got you. That. Besides, after a while, it's kind of like it gets exhausting, doesn't it? Where it's just kind of like, yeah, this really horrible thing happened at this period of my life, but I have this whole future, and I have all these possibilities, and I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss those things by sitting and thinking about the past that can't hurt me anymore. So you'll find your way. And if you are going through something like that, I really hope that you have help, and you're seeking out people to talk to. And I know it's a horrible cliche, but time. And if it's been a long time, then I don't know. I'm out of advice, except just good luck. And so yeah, switching the gears back a little bit. Good luck if you're having surgery. I know a woman who just had the Roux-en-Y, and she's miserable. So I'm so glad I didn't go through that route. She was like, I know I'm going to be weak, and I'm going to crave chocolate, and I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to get fat again. Because that's what her husband did. I don't know which one he had. I'm thinking the sleeve. And after like 5 years, he gained all the way back. That's laziness. That's, chocolate and candy has no, it just sits on the shelf in the store. It can't do anything. You go to the store, you buy it, you unwrap it, you eat it. So that's on you, So, well, I'm getting onto another tangent, but I think if you screwed up once, and that was kind of your deal. But she had the Roux-en-Y. Yeah, because she was like, chocolate is my weakness, and I want something that's going to make me sick if I even have a little bit of sugar. Well, she got her wish because everything she eats now makes her sick. And she had her surgery 2 weeks ago, and she has lost like 8 or 9 pounds. So, and she was really bitchy with me when I told her I was having my surgery because she kept putting hers off. She didn't want to have hers last November because she was like, "Oh, I want to be able to eat Thanksgiving with my family." And I was like, "Well, Thanksgiving's going to happen next year. So what are you going to do then?" "Oh, I don't know." "Well, you're obviously not ready. So, I don't know what to tell you." I guess I'm horrible at giving advice. But yeah, so she's miserable and I'm not happy about that. But before my surgery, she was like, "You should really get the gastric bypass because, you're just going to fall into old habits." Like, lady, you hardly know me. It's like my sister's boyfriend's mom. It's like, you don't know what I'm prepared to do for this. I'm wanting to slim down and get in good shape and, you know, have my butt look good in jeans. That's my goal. Not to sit there and be like, "Okay, I had my surgery. Here's my, Doritos." No. So I don't know. Any questions? Please feel free to ask. Um, yeah. So, but just on a personal note, I'm getting prepared to move. I'm in April. I'm taking a load back east. I'm driving. Ooh, scary. And then I'm coming back to California and getting a pod for the rest of my stuff, selling my house, and I'm getting out of California. So, yeah. So if there's a delay, please understand. Please subscribe. I need subscribers. That motivates me a little bit because somebody had posted a question on my channel asking when I was going to do the next update. And if it was not for her, I probably would have gotten around to it the end of this year, maybe. After I moved, I'd have been like, "Surprise, I'm somewhere else." Yeah, so please subscribe and ask questions. That's what we're here for. Trolls are deleted, blocked, because whatever. But anyways, good luck to you. Good luck to your surgery, and I promise I will do more updates more frequently. So maybe I'll do one from the road. That'd be fun. Okay, bye.